This video was recorded on the evening of Sunday, October 17th, during a drive from my house in northeast Minneapolis to my parents' house in Coon Rapids, Minnesota. This particular route is fairly straight and consists of a healthy mix of both city and highway driving. Since I do this drive several times a month, I was eager to see how FSD Beta would handle it. Well, without further ado, let's go for a drive. 37th Avenue Northeast is always fairly busy, however, FSD Beta 10.2 always handles it well. I never have to add throttle input to nudge the car along, and it always seems to approach this intersection with the right amount of caution before safely proceeding with the turn. At the intersection of 37th Avenue Northeast and Madison Place Northeast, the car always seems to take a long time to determine when it is safe to proceed. Since I have several cars behind me, I add a little bit of throttle input here to get the car to proceed through the intersection. Similar to the previous intersection, I apply a small amount of throttle input here to get the car to quickly traverse the intersection. As we approach the intersection of 37th Avenue Northeast and University Avenue Northeast, you will notice the car stays to the left even though we will be making a planned right turn ahead. My preference here in future builds would be for the car to leverage the short turn lane by staying to the right before initiating the turn so traffic behind is not impeded. In this scenario, the silver Toyota is doing a poor job of completely entering the turn lane, and so FSD Beta applies a bit of brake input. To get the car to proceed through the intersection before the light turns, I apply a bit of throttle input here. In future builds, I would prefer FSD Beta to be a bit more aggressive by moving to the left of the current lane while proceeding through the intersection without applying any brake inputs, much like a human driver would do. When it comes to passing slower cars, FSD Beta is similar to the previous Autopilot stack in that it is still too cautious and waits too long to initiate the actual lane change. You can see FSD Beta wants to pass the slower car ahead, however it cancels the attempt and is not able to react fast enough. As a result, I initiate an automatic lane change using the turn signal, only to again get stuck behind the same car ahead. You gotta love Minnesota drivers. When leveraging Autopilot in the past, I would manually have to get in the leftmost lane here before Navigate on Autopilot would kick in. With FSD Beta, all of these types of lane changes are now automated, which is pretty cool. After exiting Highway 10, we will now make a left turn onto Main Street Northwest. FSD Beta appears to struggle with this turn as it takes too tight of a line, requiring me to intervene to prevent the car from touching the inside curbing. I'll be eager to see how future FSD Beta builds handle this corner going forward. The intersection of Main Street Northwest and Northdale Boulevard is always a busy one. However, I'm happy to see FSD Beta handle this left turn with ease. Just like with the previous left turn, FSD Beta perfectly handles the left turn on 124th Avenue Northwest, as well as the final right turn before safely arriving at the destination. Now let's see how FSD Beta handles the return trip later in the evening. Even though we have our own lane here, FSD Beta incorrectly slows to a stop as if it is yielding for approaching traffic. This turn commonly confuses human drivers, so I can't say I'm surprised. However, it's something that needs to get addressed in future builds. The upcoming turn on Highway 10 is tricky in that it is more of a quick flick to the right with the road surface being off camber. FSD Beta struggles to apply the necessary steering input here to make the corner at the current speed and thus requires me to intervene. In future builds, I would prefer FSD Beta to slow to 25 to 30 miles an hour at the entrance of the turn before accelerating onto the entrance ramp. Like on the first leg of this drive, I am again required to apply a small bit of throttle input at the intersection of 37th Avenue Northeast and 5th Street Northeast to get the car to proceed through the intersection in a timely manner. Just like with the previous intersection, I again apply a small amount of throttle input to get the car to efficiently get through the intersection. Even though turn on red is not allowed at this intersection, I would like to see FSD Beta be a bit more courteous when it comes to lane usage in future builds by instead positioning itself closer to the dotted line on the inside. This would allow turning cars more room to queue up, as this particular light doesn't stay green for very long. This concludes the drive to my parents' house and back. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you on the next one.